Now we're going to move on to our favorite segment of the podcast. It is the card of the week.
Yay.
And so since we have a guest, every time we have a guest, we like to tell them to pick a card of the week for us to talk about. And so our guest this week, Mr. Teddy, Tall Teddy, literally the first time we ran into him, he's like, everybody just calls me, well, not, you didn't say you didn't say everybody calls me, but you walked up to us and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are insanely tall, my guy. He's like, yeah, some people call me Tall Teddy. Like, it's just, or Teddy Long Legs.
That's what it was.
That's
what it was.
Legs. That's what it was.
Yeah, Dan brought up, he's like, he's tall. I'm like, he just seems average height to me. Man.
Yeah, when I'm standing next to Ryan Miller, like, I'm short.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm really short and standing next to him. So, Teddy, tell us what this week's card of the week is.
We're going to be taking a look at Kuzco Temperamental Emperor. He is a Emerald 5 cost. He has 2 attack and 4 willpower. And 3 ward. He has wards, so opponents can't choose to challenge the character except to... Opponents can't choose this character except to challenge.
Yeah.
He can't be targeted with like removal or anything. But his ability No Touchy is when this character is challenged and banished, you may banish this challenging character. So if you guys do know the extent of the cards, this is kind of like a better version of Cheshire Cat, which is a 3 cost and is a 0/3 with only 2 lore. So same ability.
Inkable though.
Inkable, yes. Inkable is the biggest thing. But I think why I brought this card to the table is it has a lot of answers to things in the fact that when this card is like going against the Ruby Amethyst you were talking about, you can pace out the Kuzcos and you are able to get a good 3 lore off. And I think that is something that's really cool is you just have the ability to... This card can change a game. It being uninkable is kind of tough in that like it'll sit in your hand. But once you get up to like that 5, 6, 7 cost area with any Emerald deck, are you able to play Kuzco and then like you can bring in Mad Hatter and Genie into the play as well. But I think it's just a very good answer, and having Ward too allows it to just sit on the board for longer than maybe it should most of the time.
Yeah, with with Ward, so you like let's say this comes down turn 5, right? Turn 6, you're questing for 3, okay? Yep. And so if you're the opponent, you're looking at it, okay. He's got 4 willpower, okay? I don't want smash it. I don't want. I mean, you could smash.
Well, it's Ward. You can't target it with anything.
Oh, that's right. You can't target with anything. So the only thing be prepared or to grab your swords.
Yeah.
Which feels really
terrible.
bad. That feels really bad, right? Yeah, the only way to get around that is challenging or those 2 AoE effects. But if you're not in Steel, you're not in Ruby.
So you would also think like, oh, all right, well, I'm just going to use something low that's going to kill him. Right. But it's also like, all right, well, if you're trying to go wide on him, he's also dealing 2 damage back to you. So now it's, what is he doing? 4 damage to your board, and then he's going to banish something on top of it.
Well,
maybe?
the other way to go about that is you swing something else into him initially that has either 2 or 3 strength. Okay, like you could
attack and defense.
Right. You could swing in a Genie. You could swing in a 2/3 Genie. But again, it's still dealing that 2 back is still is a thing as well.
The retaliation damage is nice.
It is. So like the what you want to do, like if you see a Kuzco, is you want to try and whittle down that willpower, that defense. But it's kind of in an awkward spot because it's at 4, so it's like, okay, it's either I'm gonna swing something in at 2 or 3, or just
still not kill it.
Right. Just because now I've got 2 things that are now vulnerable, right? I've got 2 things that are now exerted. So yeah, it's just that 3 lore. That 3 lore on is just,
especially like a 5 cost value, and if like if
huge.
you're running Amber with it, you can get this done turn 3 with
just in time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at that point, like,
So good. That feels really good.
yeah, I've played around with it and it's nasty.
I like the just-in-time Mad Hatter setup,
Oh,
but just-in-time
yes.
Kuzco's still good.
That is spicy.
Yeah, I remember when we saw Just in Time initially. I'm like, yeah, it's an okay card. and then we see all the 5 drops that you could potentially get out on turn 3. It's like, yeah, it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot.
But yeah, Kuzco, I'm a fan of Kuzco. I mean, everybody was talking about Cheshire Cat for the longest time, which I mean,
And I still and
it's
Emerald,
still a
you
good
should-
card.
yeah, you
Like
should-
it's still a very good card.
with it being inkable, it is still a card you should be running.
yeah,
Even if it's just like 2 of, you should still be running that
Right.
in Emerald decks, I
right,
believe.
100%. So Kuzco is just. I'm gonna say it's an upgraded version of Cheshire Cat, just because it's that 3 lore.
Yeah.
But again, it being uninkable is it detracts from it, but it's still I think even Kuzco being uninkable, it's still a very good card. Still a very good card with that ward 3 lore. It's just overall it's a very, very good card. So, yeah, that is this week's card of the week. Cuzco, Temperamental Emperor.
No touchy.
Now.
No touch.
Yeah, okay, thank you,
Touching
Jim.
you.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
Jim.
touching you.
Okay, because Teddy did not do that ability justice. we need to hear Teddy's no touchy. Let's hear it, Teddy. Go ahead.
I've never seen this movie.
Oh my!
What do you mean you've never
goodness.
seen this
You
movie?
cannot say anything.
Like, I know he's not doing. Like, I don't know how to do it.
What do you think it sounds like?
I don't know.
Oh man, I am
this
surrounded.
I remember
Okay, I won't
it,
say
it getting put out in band once, and I'm like, okay, this seems like a
Banned by whom?
like at the end of semester or something. Like when we're done with a concert, my band would just
band.
play.
Oh, I got you.
We got
And
you.
like
one
I
day-
just like,
one time
okay,
at
this feels
band
like a
camp.
weird movie. I'm gonna put in my headphones and do homework.
Oh man, goodness.
You know what that
gracious.
reference is from? One time at band camp? I didn't
Okay,
think
yeah.
so.
Trust me. I do it all the time to the Glimmer Gang boys.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, so
It's not
should-
Glitter Gang, guys. It's Glimmer.
we're still gonna call it Glitter Gang.
Maybe.
And I'm still gonna call it Happiness and Hobbies.
He's
Okay.
still gonna call it, and that's the first time that he's ever said that. Like he's been saying it that way for forever.
Help me. No.
No. Yeah, so I know all the local authorities, and yeah, you're not getting any help. Sorry, dude. So anyway, okay, it should sound like this. No touchy. Okay, it's one of the. You'll see it in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, turn on the movie,
Check
you'll
it out.
see it within the first 5-10
it out.
minutes. Okay, go check it out.
Okay. It's a good movie, though. It's
a good movie.
Funny. It's funny.
It is actually pretty funny.
It's funny.
So, okay, so that is this week's card of the week: Kuzco, Temperamental Emperor.